Have any of you out there ever found yourself not caring about what is going on in whatever you are watching, just only interested in the performance in front of you? That kind of happened to me this week. That in this episode, the actor who played Yugioh and Yuri does such a good job, I lost all interest in everything else. I don't even mean that in a bad way. It's just so fascinating to watch. You have one actor who had to carry this entire show, and even though Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about its lead character, it's usually a pretty all-around well-casted ensemble. Everyone always brings in 110%, and everyone always, does a good job of making you interested in everyone. It's never a one-man show here. And especially in this one where the main man is hardly ever the focus. But in this instance, this actor really truly gave an amazing performance to the point where whenever we took a break from him to show what else was going on, I wanted to go back. I didn't care what was going on. And look, I like the plot to Arc 5. I know a lot of people who don't, and at this point, if you're not on board, you never will be. But I think this is worth watching just for what was going on here from an acting perspective. First up, the obvious thing that's going on here. Yuya just watched his father, to all extensive purposes, die. While watching his father die, he is having an evil presence swallow him up and take him over for the purpose of ending reality. That's what's going on here. So immediately, you've got to be, if you're the actor, you got to put in 110% to get this right. And he does. The rage, the anger, the emotion, it is so well balanced in this. And I like the fact it's not just a crazy, over-the-top anger spell. There's subtlety to it. There's nuance to it. Yuya is constantly, throughout this episode, being pulled in all these different directions by Yuri, by Zark, by Yugioh, and the way the actor plays it is amazing. As always, he does an amazing job as Yuri, because Yuri is just so freaking creepy. Especially in this episode, the way he's talking about, we will be one, you will be inside me, all of that. And also, if any of you post links to your weird, creepy Yuya Yuri fanfiction below, I swear to God I am going to figure out a way to get those comments removed. Now, from there, though, just everything with the Zark stuff is really good. If you pay attention to the way Yuya is talking in this, it is a very... Because the thing is, he's constantly going back and forth as elements of Zark are added to his voice, taken out. All of this is to indicate the struggle going on inside him. I love the way this was represented with both Smile World and Odd Eyes. You really now get the sense, now we know Odd Eyes is not a good guy card. Odd Eyes is one of the weapons of the bad guy in this. It makes me question every time we've seen Odd Eyes what I should really think of this card, which is crazy because this is a card I've used a lot over the past couple years. But it's so interesting, and you have the Smile World. It would have been so easy to just have Yuya give in to the rage and just have him go full on shit, I'm gonna kill you, onto Yuri, but no, he remembers his father's teachings, because let's not forget, his father's dueling style is such a big part of who Yuya is. He can't just abandon it. He still feels a sense that he needs to be above Yuri, and he needs to be above all this chaos and sorrow. And that is so interesting to watch, and I love how it's represented with Smile World. Smile World is not a great card, but the thing is that every time he looks at it, and he's reminded of all the things that matter to him, and as this dark force pulls more and more at him, you just listen to this great performance, all these inflections, all these moments where Zark comes in and out of it. It's so subtle and nuanced that you could easily miss it, but if you pick up on it, it makes this episode feel so much more amazing. I literally just rewatched the whole episode because I had to see it again. It's such a neat, interesting performance, and I love at the end there when Yugioh changes sides. Again, I could have seen this coming, and it is fairly obvious that something like this would happen. Obviously, Yuya's always got to get pushed to the brink. That's how storytelling works. But I love the stealing of Dark Rebellion because, again, I actually thought Yuya was just going to win this duel quickly and then Zark would come back. But no, Yuri planned for this, and it made him more powerful. It's more than just winning the duel. It's furthering his own goal of reviving Zark. It takes Yugioh away. We've seen Yuya use Dark Rebellion a lot. I'd argue Dark Rebellion does more than Odd Eyes does for him sometimes. So So when we see it leave, we really do get a sense of that trembling and that hopelessness. And let's not forget, Yuto has been by Yuya's side, almost, for the most part, acting like Yuya's Jiminy Cricket, almost. Really sort of, especially towards the end here, keeping him, sort of being the rational between Zark and Yuya. I almost feel that Yuto has done more a job of holding back Zark than Yuya has. That's gone now. That is against him. He is outnumbered here, and there is not a ton he can do in this spot. And I think that is so cool to watch and so great to see executed on screen. Again, everyone else kind of just said a line to remind you they were there. The only other thing I really kind of want to bring up that I thought left a weird taste in my mouth. So now Serena is in Arc 5 too. I had a feeling, I don't read the episode spoilers on the wiki. I assumed what was going to happen was that when Serena was about to be destroyed, Yuri would say something like, and we were going to have a revelation that Yuri and Serena knew each other, and maybe Yuri had a crush on her or something. I mean, that's sort of the impression I was getting from the end credits. I mean, the end credits don't really mean anything. Don't forget, in the fourth one, it was assuming that there was going to be a relationship between Salvatore and Serena, which never happened, which would be weird too when you really think about it. But yeah, no, I just sort of feel like, even though I said that, I imagine at some point we're going to see the four girls meet up with Rei in some way, shape, or form, or do something from within Arc 5. But there is something about, because let's not forget, their bodies have now been destroyed. Like, that is what he did. He destroyed their bodies and used their souls to fire a cannon to destroy reality. I just feel the action of doing that should have garnered more attention than it did. Like, someone just be like, hey, are you guys noticing this? But no, not really. Like, when Yuya was picturing all his friends and the last one is Yuzu, I kind of had this moment where I was like, and Yuzu, who is now dead, and we've kind of just chosen to forget about this. But again, a lot more episodes to go. We'll see what happens. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts. If you think I'm just being crazy with praising the performance so much. And as for the TCG question of the week, this past weekend was YCS somewhere in Germany, I think. I forget the name of the city. And here's something weird that happened. At least to me, this is kind of weird. Paleozoic frogs came in second place, and if I'm correct, this happened at the last YCS too, which to me is kind of interesting. Paleozoics have been under my radar. I don't really find that deck that interesting, but it does spam a pretty strong board now that Totally Awesome is here. So I want to know, in the comment section below, are you interested in Paleozoic frogs? Do you think this thing deserves top tier status, or do you think it's just a good meta call because of all the easy effect negation bringouts? And as always, click to like and click subscribe so we can see where all this beautiful acting is going next week.